Hi everyone, welcome back to the Art of Save Scumming. It's been a minute since we've done a video. We haven't had really any new content to cover, and I've been focusing mostly on live streams. If you've been checking those out, then I thank you very much. But today I wanted to talk about the new Tier 0 Kislev unit, which is the Kislevite Warriors. And what this one does is fill a frontline role that has some anti-large capabilities, and that's really what it comes down to. Is Kislev has been lacking in the anti-large at the beginning of the campaign, and this is basically taking up the front line spot. And what I wanted to do was do a comparison between an army that has them as their front line and an army that doesn't, because generally speaking, if before you had the Kislevite Warrior, you basically just spammed a whole bunch of Kossars. So what we're going to do is we're going to fight this battle twice. First with 5 Kislevite Warriors as the front line, and then the second time we're just going to spam Kossars and see what the post-battle result looks like. We're going up against a just basic Skaven army that is just loaded with clan rats, and I just expect them to rush us. And we are being led by Boris Ursus. The entire purpose of having him in the army is just to take on the Lord, so that the Lord doesn't get in there and basically cause a missile sink that ends up taking out one of our frontline troops. Because what'll happen is the Lord will get into a pack of Kislevite Warriors, and the Kossars are trying to hit the Lord, and they just murder the whole unit. So our goal is to keep that from happening, and if we can fight that with Boris Ursus, is a really good melee combatant. He should be able to handle this guy and keep him out of there. And it's a foregone conclusion that we're going to win this battle. It's just how much damage do we take and how much do we deal in both scenarios. So let's go ahead and hop into it. So how we're going to do this is we're just going to go ahead and checkerboard this really quick. And it doesn't have to be anything fancy. We just want to make sure that we can replicate it. And then we'll put Boris up front. And that's going to be basically what we do in both times. So let's go ahead and start the battle. I don't think that they'll rush at us off the bat. We might have to move forward with Boris a little bit. And once they're within range here, and all we're going to do as far as commanding the army is concerned is I will target these on the flanks with some Kossars. All right, let's go ahead and actually fight the Lord here. We just don't want him mixed in. Alright, so these guys we're going to use to take out that one, and probably these ones, probably this one will focus fire that. Again, we're going for replicable, so we can look at the post-battle data. Yeah, see, I was afraid of that. Although, as long as they aren't targeting the Lord, I think it's fine. Yeah, they don't appear to be shooting. Well, that just was. But he's routed, so that's fine. And again, I just want them to do what they would normally do with only a minor amount of nudging. And we might get an army losses off this, or they might rally. I'm not sure. All right, Boris can probably go out there and actually take out the Lord now. I guess I probably should have just used Skaven slaves. But we did the first one with clan rats, so we're going to go ahead and use clan rats the second time around. I kind of expected this to be over by now. As you can see, that front line is at about half health, I would say, across the board. And we will let them continue to shoot until they're out of range. All right, I think that's everybody. Everybody stop shooting. So let's look at the post-battle result. Okay, so now back in the army creation, we're just going to lose all of these frontline troops, and then we're going to fill them back in with Kossars. Right? Same battle. Now they're coming at us. And same dealio. When we have a wide unit, we'll focus fire it. Now, the advantage here is that our frontline troops are going to get a missile strike in. Probably a couple volleys before they get there. So that's the difference, I suppose, between the Kislevite Warriors
Follow the bear for the throne. Kislev's vengeance.
and the Kossars. Although, for some reason, some of these look like they're on a melee attack mode. So, yes, see, some of these automatically were on melee mode. I don't know why that is. Alright, see, this is what I didn't want to happen. So what we're going to have to do, probably, is whenever we see... we could probably just move this once Boris gets there. Yeah, so let's just... we wanted to be representative. And just having that unit sit there and get bombed by our own units isn't really congruent with what we're doing.
Anything for Kislev.
I think that missile strike was considerably detrimental to the enemy army. Although I will say that some of these frontline guys are somewhat beat up, even from that short amount of time that they were in melee. Again, minimal command. I don't really want to drive the battle unless I see something that's going to be like a real problem. So this hasn't triggered its By Our Blood yet. They have started to get through. They almost made it through the line there. It looks like they've mostly destroyed this unit. This one has routed. So this one must have triggered its By Our Blood and then routed off. So I don't think we had any units actually rout last time. Again, we'll let everybody stop shooting, do its thing, and we can compare the kills. But this one looks like it almost broke. This one was the one that we just looked at, and then this one's also in... This one, and this one are in pretty bad shape. This one's at half health, and this one's a little bit below half. So, yeah, I would say that the front line of Kossars did not do as well as far as damage mitigation. I think everybody's done shooting now. Yeah, so I would say that they didn't do as well as far as damage mitigation is concerned. But all of these got like 120, 100... Here, let's just do them like this. These got 76, 120. This one was the one that we had to pull out. 120, and then it's this one here, 117. And then let's look at the battle overall. Okay, so let's go ahead and crunch these numbers and analyze some data. First off, the killing. And I don't know about you, but this looks roughly equivalent to me, which is no big surprise because these are essentially the same army with just a different front line. What we saw is that the Kossar only army was able to achieve victory faster, and part of that is a function of those first couple volleys before initial melee contact. You're going to get, in this particular instance, between 3 and 4 volleys off before those units go into melee, and that means that that initial unit that they're going to engage with is going to be pretty badly damaged before it gets to them. That said, as far as damage to our army, the Kossar army does take on damage faster because it just simply doesn't have that frontline melee capability. Even though they are hybrid units, warriors are just better at the whole melee side because they are a melee specialist unit, which is no surprise to anybody. And what we see when we crunch these numbers is that, yeah, we ended up taking more damage on the Kossar army. So as far as using warriors as a front line, I think it's very situation specific, but you're not going to be building those armies for situation specific in most instances. And I think where having a third of your army composed of warriors shines is when you're up against multiple armies without replenishment. The army with warriors is still fully combat effective for 3 of those battles that we just fought in a row, whereas the performance of the Kossar stack will begin to suffer after about 2 battles. Because remember, you're going to be depleting your overall missile capabilities, and your balance of power is going to suffer because instead of putting out that ammunition, it dies off with the individual models as they are lost to combat and melee. So I really see 2 scenarios. Defensive armies that are recruited in a hurry, spam those Kossars and take the savings, because remember, it's 50 gold difference between the units that you saved just recruiting Kossars, and put it towards specialist units. On the flip side, if you have an offensive army that you build up quickly, put in about a third of the army as warriors and keep it from depleting the real damage dealers as you're grinding through like the Chaos Wastes or something like that, going after those small tribes. You're obviously going to want a more robust army when you're going after like Archaon or somebody like that. But when you're just trying to do small offensive incursions to get some devotion or just some extra money or just keep the enemies off of your borders, then yeah, having a little bit of extra melee capability, particularly if you're going up against any kind of cav, because Kossars absolutely cannot handle a charge, then having some of those warriors can really help pad your army and keep it healthy. Thank you for tuning in to The Art of Safe Scumming, and let me know in the comment section down below what you think of the new unit and whether my synopsis of how to use it lines up with yours. Hopefully we'll see you on another video here at The Art of Safe Scumming.